1%. What can you do with it? I know that's very... Well, hello, my name is Terry L. Dorn, and I'd like to tell a quick story about my experience with mental health issues. With me I have my little friend here, Wayne. He's my present service animal. Yes, and he helps his daddy. He helps me keep going when I start feeling depression. So I'm going to put Wayne down so he can relax. He looks pretty relaxed right now, but I'll put him down so he can go take a nap while I talk, okay? All right, here we go. Well, first of all, I had a mental breakdown in 1989, and it was quite a struggle. I was walking the streets. I was homeless, sleeping in a homeless shelter by night, but during the day I'd walk the streets and just felt like I was in a darkened tunnel. My mind was filled with gloom. I was just struggling to try to get my life going again. I'd lost everything, lost a business, lost my family. That's what led up to the depression and the breakdown. During my struggle to try to get going again consisted of going to a therapist, mental health therapist, going to employment counselors. I even went to college for a period of time. But what really helped me, I went through 6 years of counseling, therapist. The struggle was most of these young people were just out of college. I guess they got their answers right to graduate, but when I told them of my life on the streets, running away from home at the age of 10, and what I went through, and having to steal to survive at first, they looked at me with blank stares on their faces. They did not understand. They didn't know what survival was. No experience. So I went along about 6 years of this going to therapy, counseling, and it seemed like just because I had a breakdown, I was suddenly stupid. I had to be told everything and shown the way they wanted it done. I had no thoughts of my own. You know, my ideas, my way of doing things. No, they didn't want to listen to that. Take your medication and do what we tell you. That's the mental health system. That's the one I found in the community mental health system. Well, we started having some breakthroughs. Well, first of all, I found a good counselor that would listen to me, and that helped me to gain a few steps in my life, gain part of my life back. But then when I brought home a dog, not this dog I just showed you, but I brought home another dog who was half Yorkie, quarter poodle, quarter schnauzer, got him from another mental health consumer. When I brought him home, about 11 months with him, I started feeling like I wanted to go back to work. I wanted to do something with my life. I tried to start a little business, did odd jobs and lawn mowing, tried to do something on my own. But my body and my mind just wasn't up to it after those many years of taking medication and not working. So I decided to do the one thing that I always wanted to do, and that's be a writer. So I set out and went through all my poetry. I had over 1,000 poems, and borrowed some money and had a poetry book published. And this is a quick picture of it. It's called Our Highest Dreams. And then after that I went to that was in 1997, I went to a conference. At the conference I showed my book off to many other mental health consumers and found out that there was a lot of very talented people, writers, artists. I decided there that I was going to do a book for the state of Washington for all the mental health consumers around the state. My therapist, when I told him of the vision I had, he said, well, Terry, you're bipolar, and that's what we call a delusion of grandeur, whatever. So it took me 3.5 years to find some money. Finally, somebody at the state level, the mental health division of DSHS, got together a grant, and I traveled around the state and produced a book by 180 contributors. Mental health consumers contributed their work in this book. and it's called Our Memories. Here's a quick look at that book. Zero in here a little bit, and that's Our Memories, 180 consumers across the state. I went back and laid that on the desk of my therapist and says, here's your delusion of grandeur. He looked it over real good and says, well, Terry, you proved to me that you can get an idea and follow through. I tried to sell the book around the state, and there wasn't much interest. Out of 250 mental health centers, about 6 bought a small number of books. So the idea came to me to start a newspaper. And I did that for a period of time until I didn't get much response from the mental health people. A lot of consumers liked it, but it didn't pay the bills. So very recently now, I put together another book, and this book tells my story. It's called The Cross and the Psychiatrist. I showed a picture of that at the beginning of this film. Cross and the Psychiatrist. You can buy that on Google or Amazon. It's all over. But it tells the struggle I went through at the mental health system, how I felt like I was in a prison and couldn't get out. The depression kept hanging on until I started doing these projects, and these projects brought me such gladness, to see the smiles on people's faces that were stuck. And then after starting the publishing and bringing home the puppy, those things helped. I found a minister in a small town, and this minister took time with me. I went to his church for 3.5 years. And after church, every Sunday, he and his wife, Kathy, Gordon, Bowman, and Kathy, invited me over for lunch. Treated me like a family member. And that mentoring is what I call that. Really helped me start feeling good about myself, believing in a higher power, and what I could do again. So that's what brought me to write this book. That's the story that's in the book. The Cross and the Psychiatrist. Now I fill my days with working on projects. I take Wayne out for walks. It's my present dog. His name is Wayne. We go for walks. And I go out and help people on the streets and help people that I find that have mental health problems. I tell a lot of that in this book, in The Cross and the Psychiatrist. I tell the stories about people's life changing. I found that a lot of people, you just take time with them and care about them. And certain steps of mentoring, they start regaining hope and start wanting to do things with their life once again. So, all right, I'll cut it short. I'm only supposed to give a few-minute talk, not 2-3 hours. I'm not afraid to talk. But I just want to get the point across that when I started finding things that I like to do, when I started bringing happiness to other people, when I started believing in a higher power and believing in myself again, my gifts, my talents, I started feeling like I was recovering, feeling like I had some hope in the world. And this is what I want to bring to other people. So to end with, I'd like to say, if I can talk about mental illness, so can you. If we can talk about mental illness, the people on this website, Minds on the Edge, can talk about mental illness, so can you. There is hope. And I welcome you on your journey of finding it. Thank you.